Hello, everybody. It's another episode of Q&A with Dr. J. Dunn from My Happy Genes. And this is last in our installment of supplements related Q&As. Today, we're going to talk about what's really in your supplements and what's not really in your supplements, how to choose a good supplement, and things like that. Dr. J, why don't you start us off anywhere among all of those topics?
I'm a big fan of the physician lines, and they're available only through a natural healthcare practitioner. And they are held to a much higher standard than what you find on the shelf, for sure. Because, again, they're tested for heavy metals, chemicals, pesticides. Every batch is tested. And it's interesting because you and I are fans of Consumer Lab, and we've looked at their reports. I really think they're a very good resource for understanding what is potentially in a lot of supplements. And it's a little bit scary because things like lead and cadmium and mercury can be in your supplements, and pesticides, excipients, and things like FD&C yellow, the red dye that was just taken off the market. I think the red dye was, but they can all be in your supplements. And people think, I got this brand really cheap at CVS, or I got it at Costco. You get what you pay for, and sometimes a lot of things that you didn't pay for and you don't want in your products.
Yeah, and the best supplements get certified by the NSF. There are a couple of other organizations that approve their manufacturing plant. They actually go and inspect the manufacturing plants and they check in regularly. You mentioned what isn't and what could be in your supplement. What about the best delivery method? A pill, a capsule, a liquid, a powder. Do you have any preferences among those, or are they all equal?
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, it depends on the manufacturing process. Some tablets are built to withstand your digestive system and then break apart essentially where you absorb better in your intestines. They get past the stomach and the digestive acids. But some of those are really hard, and sometimes they just pass all the way through and they never do get digested. And I've seen those on x-rays from people, and there it is. It's in the exact same form that it went in. And if they're manufactured correctly, like I say, they can break down properly. Hard to swallow, though, too, for people.
Hmm.
Capsules are better in general. They tend to break down a little bit faster because the gelatin in there kind of melts pretty quickly, but easier to swallow, and delivery system is a little more fast, I should say. The gel caps are great for swallowing because they're easy to get in and they can last a little bit longer through the digestive system. But yeah, it just again, it depends on the manufacturing process, really. If it's a good manufacturer, they take those things into account. Okay, product is going to do better in a capsule form or a tablet form or a gel cap form. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's just very
you've
important.
actually prescribed or recommended a couple of supplements for me over the years that I don't like taking because they're hard, but I believe in the company and their science. Like you said, they're designed to get through all of the digestive acids into the place where they can be absorbed. What about those green drink powders that have many ingredients in them? Some with probiotics, some with collagen, some not, some flavored, some not. But what I'm getting at is they are like a multivitamin, but then at the bottom there is usually a whole bunch of like ginseng or ashwagandha and red cordyceps and maple leaves. And uh, when do you, is that okay?
Yeah, it's interesting because intellectually, I want to go, yeah, these are great. You get all your vegetables in there and you get all your things at once, all those herbs and things. However, there can be, at least genetically, we have found that some of those are contraindicated. And so you maybe think you're getting all good things when you could be actually you could be ingesting things that are actually adverse for your genetic. Also, again, back to manufacturing processes. Are these products so heated up that they lose all of their vitamin and mineral content? Is it damaged, but it looks green and it looks healthy? And so I think there's a variable on that. As a muscle tester, I very rarely ever get those green drinks to test positive and
Hmm,
to help. But a lot of people take them and believe in them and feel good on them. I would rather see people make them themselves, do your own
right.
juicing from fresh organic vegetables and fruits and put in your own ingredients in there. Just want to share a chart that we found in Consumer Lab that shows some of the heavy metals, et cetera, that are in certain ingredients. And I think a lot of those green drinks have a lot of these. So this is the from Consumer Lab, likelihood of lead or heavy metal contamination. And you mentioned ashwagandha. It can occur in the powders, but not the extracts. Cinnamon in there, I see a lot. Ginger, flaxseed, greens, and whole food supplements, low to moderate levels of lead in greens. Green tea, low levels of lead and arsenic in green tea. They're finding more and more on that. And green tea is contraindicated for certain genetic variants, including the COMT gene. So if you have that and you're drinking a lot of green tea, it's actually sending your physiology in the wrong direction. Maca is in a lot of those products as well. Protein powders, cadmium could potentially be in there, and lead, even in seaweed snacks. High levels of cadmium in most sunflower products for seeds and butters. I thought that was interesting. Turmeric as well, and valerian root. Medium likely was calcium, chia, and magnesium. And again, if you get a physician's line, they are tested for all of these individual contaminants and they reject them if they have those in there. So it's
Mhm.
scary when you look at that list. It's wow, I thought I was doing some healthy things.
And we have plenty of other places to get contaminants from our environment. Or,
Plenty. Yes.
so don't take them in your
Exactly.
supplements. You can get them from the off-gassing of your new couch or your new car.
Check out Consumer Labs because you can get some good information on that out there.
Yeah, and Consumer Lab has a free version which is loaded with information. A supplement company can send in their product and say, please test this because they're an independent lab. And then sometimes the people that are subscribed will get an email saying, we want to test L-carnitine supplements. What are your questions? What have you found? Which supplements do you like now? So they get input from the people that are reading, just like we love to hear from you about what kind of questions you'd like us to answer. They're on the level.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, again, if you're getting your supplements from a physician, a natural healthcare practitioner, that's already been tested. You're going to get clean products and it's guaranteed. They have to be considered a physician's line of supplements. It takes the worry out of it and the
Mhm.
stress knowing that you got a quality product.
And in case it's bouncing around in anybody's brain, you do not sell your own supplements. You
I do
could
not.
make your own supplements. You are a physician, but you choose not to.
Yeah, we leave that up to the practitioner where they get their supplements. We tell them when you get your supplement report through My Happy Genes, it will say you need magnesium or you need calcium or you need vitamin D. And then we give some brand recommendations, but we don't sell them at all. I didn't want to do that. Hey, I just recommending some supplements and I just happen to sell them. So we
Yeah.
didn't a conflict of interest with our company. So we leave that up to the practitioner to recommend for you based off of your supplement recommendations, their take on what their best brands are.
And many of the best brands do have a liquid option. I'm thinking of people that really have a gag reflex that just have a hard time getting anything down. There are plenty of supplement lines that have the same as liquid. So you're not without
Yeah, very
options.
much. Yeah, there are some like the AD and K. There are liposomal forms where they're, like you say, fat soluble. So they're much easier on the digestive system and easier to swallow, and especially for kids too. Their kids traditionally have a little difficulty swallowing, so there are
Mhm.
some liquid options. Yeah.
Oh, why don't we just drop in what is a whole food supplement versus all these other supplement kinds that we've been talking about?
Yeah, I get this question from a lot of people because there's a particular brand that says we are whole food. And yeah, granted, it's used a lot and it's quite inaccurate actually, because you can't get vitamin C by itself as a whole food. It's extracted from orange or lime or lemon or whatever. So it's not really whole food anymore. So there are
Hmm.
individual nutrients in there that have to be extracted out of something. And yeah, they came from foods. So it's a misunderstanding and misleading, I think, for a company to say that they only do whole foods. There are companies I think are really cool. There's one in particular that grows a pea plant and they put the mineral in the soil and then the pea plant absorbs the mineral and then they harvest the mineral out of the pea plant. Yeah, in that case, it's an organic form basically of a mineral versus an inorganic form. So it's
Hmm.
much more absorbable. Can we call that whole food? Technically, yeah, but it's not really because you're extracting the mineral out of the plant. It's not really whole foods.
Yeah, and some of the whole food supplements that I've seen, because I used to go to a lot of events where there would be vendors and they have their little sample tables. And they say we dehydrate all the fruit and then we process it into this capsule or this thing. You'd have to take 30 a day to get
Uh-huh.
the amount of nutrition that you need. I'm not saying
Right.
they may say there's half of your fruits and vegetables are in these tablets. Great. Really? And then you
Yeah.
still have to keep eating. Some people say if I take this, I don't have to include things into my diet because the word supplement means in addition to, right? It's an
Good
adjunct. It's
point.
not like the whole solving the problem with the supplements is not going to.
You can eat anything you want and just eat scary food all day long and then take your supplement and think you're going to be healthy.
Ding dongs. Sorry.
You eat ding dongs?
No, I toes, but not ding dongs.
Okay. The
Capta. Oh, go
the
ahead.
other thing I want
Mhm.
to mention is, and I think we mentioned it briefly in another video, but is label claim. You may buy a vitamin C that says it has 500 IU of vitamin C, but when they test the actual amount in there, we have 300 or 200 or sometimes none at all. And there's some good studies showing that those brands on the health food store shelves or CVS or Costco often don't have active ingredient in it. And that's a crapshoot too. And that's another thing that physician lines have to do is they have to put in what they say they have in it at the exact amount that they claim. They have to meet label claim, where supplements that are bought in other places do not have to do that. Again, you may be taking a supplement thinking you're doing the right thing. Look, I'm taking vitamin C. It's going to help my immune system. It's a whole food. It's not, it's
Ain't
a
necessarily. Check things out before you buy them.
sometimes some feedback that there are too many supplements to take, that people say, oh gosh, that's so many. Do I have to take so many? Yeah, we are designing your multiple basically around your genes. And so we have to put them together individually. You might need this form of B12, but only a small amount. You may need this form of vitamin K and this form of vitamin D. You don't need B6, so we leave that out of the formula. Your minerals we put together individually. So yeah, it ends up being a few. You may get 8 to 10 supplements, but it's your multiple and it's designed around your genetics. And taking them together is the key, though, because they're going to work synergistically together. And that's a really difficult thing to find over the counter. You can't just say, well, I'm going to grab a multiple and have it balance your genetics. It's just not going to work that way because it's going to have too much B6 for you, the wrong form of B12, too much magnesium, not enough calcium, whatever. It's going to be a crapshoot, and you're often not going to have very good results with it because it's not designed around your genetics.
And a practitioner, as you have done with me, might say, we're giving you the liquid form of this methylator because you might need 5 drops right now, and you may need 10 drops once you get used to 5. If you get to 10 and you feel like crap, go backwards. Or we want you to take a half of this tablet now and see how it does in your body. So you're really getting this precise amount of what your body needs with My Happy Genes. Practitioners will say, let's start slow because you don't want to overwhelm the body, like you've said many times, with so much of everything at once.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point because you're going to be working as a cooperative a partnership basically with your patient. The practitioner and the patient is going to work together and say, what symptoms are you still having? Okay, let's up that dose a little bit, as we did with you, because you were still having allergies. And I'm like, we'll take a little more methyl donors. And at a certain point, your body's going to go, I'm detoxing too fast because they'll turn on detox too, as well as getting rid of histamine. So we can adjust according to your symptoms. That's a good point.
Mhm.
But also there may be some contraindications. So the software doesn't know that you're on, let's say, a blood thinner or some other medication, and the software program is going to say, oh, take vitamin K. It's contraindicated. We just can't program every medication into our program. So your practitioner will go, oh, yeah, we're going to knock that one off because you can't take vitamin K with a blood thinner. It's going to counteract that medication. And so that's why we ask you to work with the practitioner when you get your supplements so that they can go, okay, for you, this is what you've been recommended by My Happy Genes, but I know your body. We're going to modify it a little bit because of this medication or this, what you're doing in your diet. So that's why we really are adamant about working with a practitioner with this, not just giving you a supplement recommendations and sending you on your way.
Yeah, can you
It's a,
imagine somebody just getting the report, taking vitamin K, they're on a blood thinner, and the next thing you know, they're fainting?
yeah, no, that would
Not
be
we don't want that.
I don't mean to scare people into, supplements are scary and they can do damage, but they are powerful. They're powerful medicine. And I think that is not understood, that having it precisely balanced for your body, though, does amazing things. And you and
Mhm.
I are living proof of that. It's wow, the right, even just a vitamin and a mineral in the right form, in the right amount, specifically for you, it's stunning what it does and how it turns on the biochemistry to work correctly. And so don't underestimate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the diet and lifestyle report comes before even or with the supplementary report and the other three reports. You're going to know what foods are counteracting or acting with the supplements that you're going to be given, right? So if you
Correct.
need, like in my case, I didn't know half the things that triggered histamine, but if I take them out of my diet and I add the methyl factors and a couple other things, bam, I'm feeling good. The other night I had sushi. I woke up not feeling so good, fermented food, not good for my histamine, right? So
Right.
you're going to see the big picture. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's not just take a supplement and get better. There are other things that go along with it, but man, you can really feel the effect of those things in combination.
Yeah, and it's really cool because then you get to know your body pretty well. Those things that we think, oh, I just have to deal with it. It's just allergies or it's aches and pains or it's depression or whatever. You think that you just have to live with it, and you don't. They're symptoms, they're indicators that you're out of balance.
Mhm.
And so they can inform you that, oh, okay, you need to pay attention here. Even just slight symptoms can tell you, your biochemistry is off. So it's
Mhm.
fascinating. Once you get to know your body, like you just said, that when you eat that food, you're going to feel poopy, but you know how to counteract it now. And that's advanced work. That is what we call the PhD in me down the line when you're starting to go, okay, I know how my body works. I know my genetics. I know that this supplement helps balance it when I do this. I can do more of that. It's fun to really get to know your body.
It is. And I remember, I don't know, a couple months ago, you weren't feeling well. And as the day went on, you slipped in, I haven't been taking my supplements for 3 days or whatever it was. And then once you got back on the program, you were back to yourself. Do
I have to
supplements
do
work?
that.
I would say, yeah.
Yes. I have to prove it to myself every once in a while. I'm like, I'm just going to stop taking my supplements for a while. And I think a lot of people do that. And then they go, what's the matter with me? Back on your supplements and boing. It's very confirming. Okay,
Yeah.
this is working. And that brings up another point that it isn't like you're going to fix something. This is your multiple designed around your genetics that you have to take on a daily basis for the rest of your life because your genes aren't going to change. We may modify it a little bit and it may bounce around a little bit, but for me, having the vitamin D receptor variant, if I stop taking my supplements for that particular gene, I'm going to just slowly slide down into depression again. And I don't notice it right away. Okay, I don't feel much different. And then the next day I'm a little bit down, and the next day it's pretty soon I'm sliding toward the floor. And I go, oh yeah, getting back on it.
And I'm not perfect about it. I used to be compliant every day, 7 days a week, didn't matter. And lately I've not been so much, but I am constantly aware of if I didn't take them. Why didn't I? I ate today. Why didn't I take my supplements? What was the big deal? So I'm constantly having a conversation with my inner wisdom because it is my inner wisdom saying, if these things are helping, why wouldn't you take them?
Yeah, balancing yourself with nutrients is a heck of a lot better than needing a medication down the road or sliding into a disease that
Yeah.
your genes are steering you toward. And we all have something in our genes that are tendencies of whether it's cardiovascular disease or cognitive decline or joint issues or bone density issues. They're coming as we get older, unfortunately. But if you can head those off, it's stunning. That's real true biohacking at the
Hmm.
cellular level and avoiding those things that potentially could be coming down the line. So
Hmm.
it's very cool. It's very fun.
It is cool. And on that note, I think that we will sign off for today. If you have ideas for another series, maybe you have lots of questions on one topic, send them our way and we will see about getting them into production. Thank you for being with us and share these if you got some value. We would love that. And subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will never miss another Q&A. Thanks, Dr. J.
Thanks, GC.